And welcome on in to another episode of Getting Wild with Terry and Friends. I'm Terry, Tim beside me, Bryant bottom left, Nick bottom right, and we are ready to break down today's slate. So I picked 5 games for us to go over, and then last pitch, as always, no CFL today, but that'll be tomorrow. So we'll
already.
Go over that. Thursday, right? Is the first game?
Tomorrow's Wednesday.
Oh, tomorrow's Wednesday. Yeah, I'm sorry. I keep thinking it's Wednesday for some reason.
No, I want it to be Thursday too. I'm ready for some Elks and Alouettes. That's gonna be fun.
Boy. The bum fight of the year. The bum fight of the year. But
never mind.
we'll jump into the first game here that I chose. Seattle Mariners are headed to Washington. I'll bring up the current odds here. You can find the Seattle Mariners anywhere from minus 104 to minus 115. You can find Washington anywhere from minus 105 to minus 110. So kind of even odds here, depending on what side you like, if you like a side. You can also find the total. You can find 9s. You can find 9.5s. So depending on what side you're on, if you want the over, maybe take the 9. If you want the under, maybe take the 9.5. But it's to each person's opinion. I'm taking Seattle money line minus 105. I like the Mariners to kind of keep things going here against a Washington team that is just not very good. Seattle, I thought, hey, maybe they're just kind of on a run here and they're going to regress back to how they were. But they have not regressed, and they beat up on the Blue Jays team, and now they're facing the Nationals. And after a long homestand, sometimes it's good to get on the road. I think it might actually benefit them, especially for your first stop to be in Washington facing the Nationals. So I like the Seattle Mariners full game minus 105. Tim, Mariners and Nationals. What do you think of this one?
Finally, this is the Mariners team I've wanted to see the entire year. Because I was high on them, and then they go off to a really crappy start, and I look like an idiot. But no, now they've gone a little bit better, and they're starting to put some wins together, which is nice to see. They've won 9 out of their last 10. Granted, I mean, and it's not like they played cupcake teams. I mean, yeah, they played Oakland for 4, but they beat San Diego in San Diego, and then took out 4 from Toronto, which is not an easy feat, even with the way that Toronto is playing right now. On the opposite side, the reason why this game is a pick'em is because of a guy named Josiah Gray, who has been probably one of the only consistent pitchers for this national side. Now, a lot of people are going to look at this one and think it's a fishy line and go right after Washington. I'm not buying it. I'm going to stick with the hot hand, and I'll do that with a couple of other teams that are part of the slate. Because my thinking is I bet Seattle a bunch during this streak. So if they lose tonight, I'm still profitable on them for this streak. And I'm going to back Chris Flex. I know it has not been a good year for him, but he's been pitching better as of late and against a Washington team. And I mentioned this with the San Diego game yesterday. Seattle in a wild card spot right now. They're tied with Toronto for that third wild card spot. They need to beat up on bad teams. Here you go. Here's 2 games against the Nationals. Beat up on them now. I'm taking Seattle at a short line.
All right. Yeah, I didn't even really talk about the pitchers, but I figured obviously one of you guys would as well. But Chris Flexen has won his last 3 games for the Mariners. And his last game, obviously no earned runs in that one. The other starts, he's giving up 2 or 3. He's consistent. At least in the month of June. In the month of May, it was a little bit more rocky sometimes. But since the calendar turned to even the last day of May, he gave up 1 earned run against Houston. So since that start, he's been really good. And Seattle's been hot. So, yeah, for sure. Bryant, what do you think here? Mariners and Nationals.
As you see, I have a Mariners hat on. Much like Tim, I was very high on the Mariners. I've always liked the the atmosphere of the team. They're fun to watch. Last year down the stretch, I enjoyed it. Even though that they were also like chasing my Yankees for the wild card spot, but I was high on them coming into the season, and now I'm starting to feel a little bit better about why I felt the way I did at that time. I don't think they're going to catch the Astros, but kind of doesn't matter anymore with this new playoff format. We talked about this before the show. Literally, you just got to get in, just get into the playoffs, and they have enough pitching. Ironically enough, I think that they could make some noise if they get in. So right now, they just need, like you said, need to keep stacking up wins against bad teams. They go up against the Nationals tonight. Tim talked about something. He said two words, and that was Josiah Gray. And I think that, yes, that's why the line is at a pick 'em. But it also doesn't make sense that that would even be the case, considering the guy's 2-5 with a ERA over 6 at home this year. He stinks at home. He is 5-0 on the road. There's a stark difference between how he looks and how he pitches at home and on the road. So it's even more of a reason why I'm not really understanding why he's a pick 'em. I guess it's because of Flexen and his road struggles this year. But right now we're getting a hotter team, the team that also has more talent. They have a more stable bullpen. Everything points to the Mariners here, and I'm going to be a sucker, I guess, quote unquote. And I'm gonna take the Mariners here. I've cashed quite a bit over the last week or so with them being hot. Shout out to Chris Flexen last week against the Padres. Yeah, it was the Padres. I took them on the plus money for just the F5, and they were up 4-1. They throttled San Diego last week. So
no, he didn't allow up anything last game. Last start against San Diego.
Yeah, you're right. So I'm gonna keep riding the Mariners here. The way MLB has gone over the last couple of weeks, you don't really get chances to ride hot teams like this because you've had Tigers pulling off 3-game sweeps, the A's pulling off 3 out of 4, the Royals screwing up everyone. So we get a good price against a streaking team right now. I feel like you kind of just got to ride it and just kind of see where it takes you. And I'll take my chances against the Mariners going up against a guy that struggles at his own home ballpark. So I've just got the Mariners money line. That's all I got, and that's what I'm going to run with. So we also get to use that the bad Nats bullpen if they go down early or something like that. So there you go.
That's really interesting that the home road splits. Usually it's the other way around.
Yeah, it's very bad.
Other pitchers we're going to talk about, they're really good at home, and most pitchers are worse on the road. So it's weird that he's that way.
And also, it's 5-0 with a 2.14 ERA and 8 starts on the road this year. And then he's also 1-1 with a 5.40 ERA and 17 strikeouts across 3 starts against the AL. So maybe a little bit better against the AL, but 5.40, and you take into consideration with his difference, the differences at home and on the road, I'm gonna take my chances tonight.
All right. Is it a full sweep here? Are we all in Seattle, or do we have a bad apple in the bunch?
Nick, where I'm going with this, Terry. Don't give me that crap. No, this is gonna be I feel like a day where I'm just gonna be on an island on most games, and this is one of them here. Yes, I get it. The Mariners are 9-1 in their last 10 games. The Nationals are 1-9 in their last 10 games, and this game is a pick'em. And yeah, thanks, Tim. I appreciate that. But looking at this, I'm riding an angle today on 3 different games, and I don't know if all 3 games are part of the schedule today. But this is one of them. This is the first one. I'm looking at teams who have won 7 or more games in a row at home that had a day off and traveled, because nothing can kill momentum better than traveling and a day off. So I'm going to take the Nationals here in the first 5 innings at -120 is what I got it at. I just think that this is an absolute fishy trap line that they are begging you to take the Mariners on the 7-game win streak. They're the 8-game win streak, one of the hottest teams in baseball. I ain't falling for this today. Give me the Nationals in the first 5 innings.
But you're only taking the first 5. You're not taking the full game, right?
Yeah, no, I don't trust that bullpen to give me 9 solid innings. I trust Josiah Gray to give me 5 solid innings, though.
So the win streak could continue potentially.
It could continue, but at the very least, I expect them to come out here flat.
Perfect.
Also, they're traveling from Seattle to Washington, all the way across the country. I'm not a fan of that either.
They did have the day off though, right? So, but yeah, we'll jump into the next game here. This one's going to be interesting. The Phillies are headed to Toronto to face the Blue Jays. This Blue Jays team, what can you say? They had a horrible road trip here. They're heading home, which is the best news for them after that road trip. You can find Philadelphia anywhere from plus 175 to plus 150. So really a big variety if you want to back Philadelphia. If you want to back Toronto, you can find them from anywhere minus 185 to minus 210. So there's big lines depending on the book you have the books you have access to. Here, a total 9 or 9.5. Again, mostly 9.5s. I'm on Toronto first 5 minus a half, which I got at minus 125, and I also have Toronto money line in a parlay. This is just a good spot for the Blue Jays. As Bryant said on yesterday's show, the Philadelphia Phillies will be out 2 bats in their lineup, significant ones. And when you already put that on with the fact that they don't have Harper, the Jays are healthy. They haven't been playing well on the road, but they're headed back home here. And then you have the pitchers, Jose Barrios, in his 7 games at home. The Jays are 4-0 this year. He's 4-0 in 7 games at home this year with a 3.23 ERA. On the road, obviously 2-4 with a 7.15 ERA. So his ERA is half at home what it is on the road. And that includes that horrible first start, the first start of the year. So he's been really good at home for the most part. This Phillies team is coming in here without some bats. And I think this is the perfect get-right spot for the Jays. And history against this team. Last year, I remember like it was yesterday, the Phillies were up 6-0 on the Jays, and they stormed back. I don't expect that to be the case, obviously, today. But good games the Jays have had against the Phillies, and I look for them to start the series off with a win here. Tim, perfect timing. Phillies and Blue Jays, what do you think of this one?
Okay. This one's one of the more interesting games of the night because we get the Phillies who have like nobody. They're without JT Realmuto, and they're going to be without Bohm, which Bohm's been on absolute fire right now. So that's going to be a big loss for them. And I mean, we don't really take it into consideration a lot, but if you guys watch Morning Wood with picks and parlays, Phillies don't win on Tuesdays. It's whatever trend it is, they don't win on Tuesdays because everybody always bets them and loses. And now we just fade them on Tuesdays. I grabbed the run line on Toronto. I know Barrios is not a pitcher I necessarily trust, but I feel like this is a good spot, a bounce back spot per se. The Toronto Blue Jays are coming home after getting swept by the Seattle Mariners. And sometimes coming home is the big thing. Normally, I like to try to fade teams on their first game back at home after a long trip. I feel like this might be a little bit of a different scenario just because of the Phillies not having 2 big bats in the lineup. But we'll see how that goes. I'm on Toronto in this matchup. I grabbed them on the run line. I think it was like minus 105.
It's not just that they got swept by the Mariners. It's that series against Oakland too that is really bad. So I think the Jays are definitely that's in their heads here, and I think that they're ready in this game. But we'll see. Bryant, Phillies and Blue Jays. What do you think here?
Yeah. I am strongly on the Jays bandwagon today. I'm going to hop in line with everyone with this whole fade Philly on Tuesday thing. So, but more than anything, Jose Barrios does look a better pitcher at home than he does on the road. I think this is a perfect get right spot for the Jays. They need this. You get to go up against the Phillies bullpen for 9 innings. You cannot fumble this. You're still in a playoff race. You're still contending for a wild card spot. You're back at home. You got a chance to get some momentum before the All-Star break as well. You got to take advantage of this. You also get to dodge Aaron Nola and Kyle Gibson, both guys who've looked pretty good the last couple of starts. Nola excluding last night. So you got a little two-game series right here. You got to start it off right. You cannot lose a game like this with a team that's down 2 starters and 2 of their most productive bats recently as well. You just can't. You really can't. And consider yourselves a real contender later on in October. These are the type of games that matter in October. So I'm going to go with the Jays here. I've got them on the F5 run line. I got it at -125. And that was at -0.5, obviously. That is what I'm going to ride out with. And I am also sticking the Blue Jays money line in a parlay with the Dodgers and the Giants as well, and the Yankees. So it's a little 4-teamer. All 4 teams I think we're going to win tonight. Yeah, so got my Jays fandom for about 3 hours tonight. So let's get it done, and let's make some coins.
I would hope all 4 of those teams win tonight. I believe the smallest favorite's -160.
Yeah, exactly.
I was about to say that's chalk, and more chalk. I sure hope they would win.
That's funny because not only am I also on the first 5 run line, but I have a 4-game parlay. Toronto, the Dodgers, San Francisco, but I have Atlanta, and sorry, Tim and Nick. So Brian, we're kind of seeing things similar here. So best of luck to both of us today.
I mean, I'm on the Braves money line too. That's in a separate one, but I got a better, more value play. So we're literally same page.
Yeah, we're in line today. So fingers crossed for both of us. Tim or Nick, Phillies and Jays, we're all liking the Jays. Are you on your own island again here?
I did not touch a side. It was a plain and simple fact that I'm not laying -190 on Jose Barrios, even with the bats missing in the Philadelphia lineup. Also, I think we're going to get some Toronto bullpen in this game. I think we're getting 9 innings of Philly bullpen. I like the over 9.5. I expect runs in this game. Maybe coming back home could be a decent thing for these Philly bats, or for these Toronto bats, my bad. And I wouldn't be surprised if Philly can get a few runs off of Barrios. He's not an elite pitcher by any stretch of the imagination. He's had a really bad year so far. He had a good start last one, against Oakland. I think he's had 2 dominant starts this year, Barrios, and they're against the powerhouses of the Oakland Athletics and the Detroit Tigers. So I'm not super high on Barrios to begin with. I would actually lean towards the Phillies team total over 3.5 in this game, around -135. Expecting them to get to Barrios a little bit. At +155, I mean, I wouldn't talk you off of taking a huge shot on an underdog. Yes, I know they're missing players, but this Jays team is still really struggling, and they're laying -190. I just can't get around to doing that until they start to pick it up, because there's nothing the last week and a half that the Blue Jays have shown me to lay -190 on them, or even money as a home run line favorite. So for me, I am on the over 9.5, and I might make a move towards the Phillies team total over.
All right. We'll see what happens. We'll jump on into the next game. This one's going to be interesting. The Mets are in Atlanta again for game 2 here. I'll bring up the current odds. Right now, you can find the Mets anywhere from +150 to +184. So that's 34 cents. That's a huge difference. You can find Atlanta anywhere from -188 to -122. Sorry, -222. So again, a big a difference there. Total mostly 8.5, some 8s available in this one. I do have Atlanta in that 4-teamer that I gave out before, and I also have another bet that I'm going back to. I've given it out, obviously not in yesterday's show because the Dodgers weren't playing, but over the last week or so, Atlanta Dodgers moneyline parlay has been working well. I think it's hit for me, I think, 3 games in a row. So I'm going right back to it. Plus 151 for Atlanta and the Dodgers, both on the money line. It's basically how I'm tackling this game. I wouldn't want to take Atlanta on the run line, but I do expect a bounce back game here for them. They were right in yesterday's game until the end. That one bad inning. Obviously, it could have been 2-2. Had the wind been blowing a little bit from north to south, then just a little bit more, the ball would have went over. It was very close. So it was a very close game yesterday until that one inning. And I think Atlanta's going to want to bounce back here against their division rival. Tim, the Mets, the Braves, what do you think here?
Yeah, Mets were in control all game yesterday. There was no options. No. I know there was a couple of questionable calls for you, but no, the Mets were.
I didn't even
Scherzer
mention the umpire.
Scherzer was absolutely Scherzer yesterday, and that's exactly what the Mets needed. I was originally not going to bet this game. Yeah, there's Terry's new handle. I was originally not going to bet this game because the Mets were like plus 150. I'm like, okay, that's whatever. I'm not going to overdo it because Spencer Strider's been awesome. Peterson hasn't been bad. I will give him that. He hasn't been bad this year. He's been hit up a little bit, but he's running a 3.48 ERA. He's 5-1 this year, meaning the Mets are giving him runs whenever he pitches. A lot of people were all over Max Fried yesterday because he's been pitching well, and then he struggles a little bit because he's not facing those cupcake teams like they were the last month and a half. I end up jumping on the Mets once they hit plus 184 because that is absolutely ridiculous that the line is spread out that much. I don't believe that the pitching advantage is that much of a difference. And we saw yesterday the Mets were able to stay in there, and you had other people hitting. Luis Guillorme, big home run in the last inning, in the 6th or 7th inning. Helped in the 8th inning to help push some insurance. You're getting players hit. Lindor is hitting opposite field. He's not even trying to hit home runs right now. He was consistent yesterday. This could be a very tricky game for the Braves if they don't shut down the top half of this order. And I think it's going to be trouble for Spencer Strider, who is still a rookie. Yes, he's got some good stuff. He is still a rookie, so be careful with him. He should not be 220.
All right. To Jay Shank's comment here, yes, fading Barrios on the road. If you faded him at home, you would have lost money. But if you fade him on the road, then yeah, you're definitely up. But there's if
you're blindly betting Barrios overs, you're making some bank this year. I think you're 13-4.
Yeah. And then Tim says, let's go Braves picks. Yeah, I have already said before, I do think the Braves will win this division. I do think they are the better team here. And I do think this is one of the games that they'll win. That definitely Strider is definitely a better pitcher than Peterson. And I backed Peterson quite a few times this year. But the Braves against lefties as well, I look for them to hit Peterson tonight. Bryant, what do you think here? I like the Braves. Tim likes the Mets. What do you think here?
Well, as I mentioned previously, I do have the Braves in a parlay, so I do like them to win tonight. But that's a chalky play, and I'm not trying to give anyone that out as advice. So I have something better. I'm going to look at K-prop here with Mr. Strider. The man has put up 3 double-digit K games this year. On top of that, we're getting plus money over 7.5. I find tremendous value there. His last couple of games, he went up against the Dodgers, the Reds, and the Cardinals. And he put up 12 against the Cardinals, 11 against the Reds, 7 against the Dodgers. And prior to that, he had 4 against the Giants. He got kind of lit up that game, but that was one of those rough occurrences for him. And then before that, he went 11 against the Nats. That was pretty much a month of June, and so far the early part of July. So I think there's value there. If we're going to sit there and assume that, going to piggyback off what Tim said, if we assume that that there is not that big of a negligible difference between Peterson and Strider, you have to assume this game is close. And though the heaviest way that Strider gets through lineups is he strikes guys out. He doesn't allow much contact. So if I think that he's going to win, if I think the Braves are going to win, and I think that he's going to pitch pretty well, and they've got a price at minus 210, I'm got to get in line and try to figure out, okay, so how does he get guys out then? If he's going to be minus 210, how is he going to get guys out? He's going to get guys out by striking them out. That's just what he does. It's kind of his calling card. And so with that, I am going to back this K prop. It's over 7.5 strikeouts at plus 102. I'm going to hop on that, and that's going to be my play for this game. Like I said, I have the Braves in a parlay just to win, nothing else. So other than that, that's all I'm rooting on.
All right. Nick, Mets and Braves. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, actually, to touch on that Spencer Strider strikeout prop, I would actually lean under. The Mets have the 4th least strikeouts offensively this year in the MLB. The only teams better, actually, are the Washington Nationals, the Houston Astros, and the Cleveland Guardians actually strike out less than the Mets. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, the Braves strike out the 2nd most in baseball. The only ones that strike out more is the Angels. So if I was looking at a strikeout prop, I would look more towards David Peterson before I would Spencer Strider, strictly from the offenses that they're facing.
Yeah.
But when we look at this matchup here, actually, David Peterson's been pretty good this year, and the Mets are 9-2 in his starts. He's one of the most profitable pitchers in baseball, and you're getting him for plus 170 tonight. And the way they're pricing this line is saying that the Braves are better than the Dodgers, because the only time the Mets were even anywhere close to this type of line is they were plus 160 underdogs the last couple of games when they played the Dodgers in LA, which those pitching matchups were Trevor Williams and Julio Urias and David Peterson and Walker Buehler. That's the only times I've seen and then Tajon Walker and Tony Gonsolin. Those are the only times I've seen the Mets as this big of underdogs. And I don't know about you. I think the Dodgers are still a better team than the Braves. And I don't think it's particularly close. So I don't think that the Mets should be this big of underdogs. I didn't bet them at plus 155, but it rose to plus 170 on my book, and I took a shot with it there. So I'm on the Mets money line here at plus 170. I think that they are a very live dog once again.
All right. We'll move on along to the next game here.
There is a little bit of news with this game, by the way. If you guys have bet this game, you're going to have to rebet it. It's going to be, I believe, Jordan Hicks opening for Matthew Liberatore.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to put that in there. That it's going to be that. So if you have bet this game already, you're going to have to rebet it.
Depending on which book you're at, because my books don't, unless you actually click an action button, or you actually have to go to a money line.
If you listed Matthew Liberatore as a pitcher in this game, you're going to have to rebet it. My book automatically makes us do that for run lines and stuff like that and first fives. But the good thing about my book is I know when it happens because I'll get the money back in my account right away. So I just wanted to give that little notice out there that you're gonna have to rebet this game if you guys did get to this, did bet this game and list Liberatore as one of your pitchers.
All right. So the Dodgers are headed to St. Louis. You can find the Dodgers anywhere from minus 159 all the way up to minus 167. So pretty close odds there. The Cardinals, you can find them from anywhere from minus 130 to minus 140. Totals 8.5, 9s, 9.5, couple 9.5 there. In this one, when I was looking up this yesterday, I found some an interesting stat here on Liberatore. So I definitely hope that he will be pitching in this game. Obviously,
he is. He's the primary reliever. Jordan Hicks is opening today.
Yeah.
Awesome. So in his first game, Liberatore gave up 4 earned runs. In his second game, 0 earned runs. In his third game, 4 earned runs. In his fourth game, 0 earned runs. In his next game, 5 earned runs. And in his last game, 0 earned runs. So he is literally completely flip-flopping, giving up runs and then having a great zero earned run game. And in his 0 earned run games, he gave up 3 hits in each start, only going 4 or 5 innings. So not really pitching the longest there. but he is a flip-flop pitcher, and now he is on his get hit start, and he's facing the Dodgers, a team that in their last game, I was frustrated. They went down 5-0 right away, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" I was kind of feeling like, "Okay, they're done." Um, they come back, and the Cubs come right back and make it 8-3 and have another 5-run lead. Again, I'm thinking, "Oh my God, this is over." But this Dodgers team,
You're giving Nick PTSD right now.
this Dodgers
Thank you
team,
very
I know,
much.
I'm sorry, Nick.
That game hurts. Thanks for reminding me.
This Dodgers team, I said before, some people think they don't play the regular season. They do. They care, and they showed it last game. And I think they'll care in this one. Mitch White is pretty good. He's not obviously their number one pitcher or anything, but he is dependable. You can kind of depend on him for the most part, facing the St. Louis offense. So I'm on the Dodgers first 5 minus a half at minus 105. And then I obviously have the Dodgers money line in a parlay or in two parlays. I like for them to kind of keep on rolling here against this Cardinals team who's just not doing very well. And I look for Liberatore to give up runs when he comes in if he kind of keeps on going in his zigzag form. Tim, Dodgers and Cardinals. We know you love the Dodgers. What do you think here?
I don't really love the Dodgers, but I'm kind of actually really annoyed that there was a pitching change because I have listed Liberatore. I also have the Dodgers run line in my round robin today. So I'm going to have to go back through my tracking app and have to void out all of those bets and put in the ones again of all the plays without the Dodgers. So that's going to be a pain in the ass now, but screw you, Cardinals. Thank you very much. I still like the Dodgers. I still like the Dodgers. I rebet them at even money. This team is hot right now, and the Cardinals are not. And Liberatore or whatever they're doing with their pitching now, I don't trust. And I'll take Nick's words. Mitch White is the Tony Gonsolin of last year. It's the only pitcher on the Dodgers that you're getting a reasonable line on. Because all the other ones are minus 200, minus 250. Mitch White or whatever his name is, you got minus 135 last night or minus 150 now. I was able to get the run line like even money plus 105. So I'm gonna run with that. I do like the Dodgers tonight. I don't bet the Dodgers often. This is a Dodgers spot for me. And you got that. That's how I hate betting the Dodgers. That's one of the most square plays in sports betting. But I'm doing it tonight.
All right. Bryant, Dodgers and Cardinals. What do you think here?
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, I am on the Dodgers here. I mentioned that previously. I agree with the Mitch White is last year's Tony Gonsolin. The only thing I'm worried about is Mitch doesn't like miss bats at all. So guys make contact. Luckily for him, his hard hit rate is relatively low. So it's in a good percentile in that regard. But I don't trust Liberatore at all. He has, last time I checked, and I saw it this afternoon when I was capping the game, he has a 330 expected batting average against his fastball and like a 290 expected batting average against his sinker. And those are the pitches that he primarily throws. So with that being said, you're throwing your most primary pitches are seeing batting averages basically roughly around 300. That just doesn't bode well against a Dodgers team that's hot. They've been tearing the cover off the ball in some spots. I think that they got their mojo back as a whole, from the pitching, the offense to the relievers and stuff like that. So it's a good spot for me here. I'm going to have, like I said, I already have the Dodgers on the money line. I'm also going to sprinkle something now that I know that we're going to get some of the bullpen action before we get Liberatore as well. I think I'm going to sprinkle something on the team total. I don't know which one I'm going to go with. Probably going to look at something like 4.5. But I don't see the Cardinals bullpen and with Liberatore at the forefront. I don't see them holding down this Dodgers team. Looks like it's off the book right now as they update everything that's coming through. But nonetheless, that was going to be my play for the game. Like I said, the money line is a go for me. I trust Mitchell White a little bit more. His walk rate's kind of scary, but ultimately he gets guys out. And that's all that really matters in the grand scheme of things. So I've got the Dodgers here, and I'm going to take a team total look at the Dodgers as well. Probably 4.5 to 5 runs.
All right. And Nick, Dodgers and Cardinals, I'm pretty sure your bet was voided, right? So are you going right back to it?
Yes, when this is back on my book, I'm rebetting it because I'm going to stick with my angle here. This is the second team that is coming in off on a winning streak of 7 or more games that were all at home. They won 11 out of 12 in their homestand against Chicago, Colorado, and San Diego. Now they had a day off. They traveled. I don't like them. I think there's a reason why this line isn't minus 175, minus 180, minus 200 like the Dodgers usually are. I like the Cardinals in the first 5 innings here, and I'm going to rebet it when the line comes out. And I'm actually okay with it being Jordan Hicks for the first inning or two because I actually like Jordan Hicks' numbers. I don't think he's pitched in a little bit, but he's somebody that I remember did pitch pretty well in the beginning of the season. And this is one of those spots where I'm only taking the first 5 once again. I do think that the bullpen advantage is towards the Dodgers in this one. And usually when I'm taking teams that I don't think are the better team, I want the least amount of time possible because you give the better team more innings, they're going to win the game. That's just the way I view it. So I'm going to take the Cardinals here in the first 5 innings. I got it around plus 120 earlier. I'm hoping to get it around there again when it reopens. But I'm going to once again be on an island here. I'm going to take the Cardinals in the first 5.
All right. And before we get here to last pitch, BetStamp, use code WILD when signing up at BetStamp. It helps out the show. Sign up for the different books. As I said, in a few of these games, there's a lot. I'll bring up this one, for example, Arizona, San Francisco. You can find Arizona plus 185 to plus 175. Or if you like backing San Francisco, you can get that minus 210 to minus 225. So every penny matters. They all add up. So definitely find the best books available to you. And we will jump into last pitch. And I will kind of zip through here for the games that we didn't talk about and kind of give my thoughts here. And we'll start 1 second. The first game, Pittsburgh and Miami. Don't really have much of an opinion here. Pittsburgh, I thought Miami was kind of not going to go on a run, but I thought they were going to kind of stay around 500, maybe go a little bit above 500, but they're kind of sinking back here against a team they should beat, Pittsburgh. They lost yesterday. They should hit Stratton. They should, I think he's only going to pitch 1 inning there, but they should be able to hit Pittsburgh, but I'm not going to bet on a should when I'm not confident with it, obviously. Reds and Yankees, Cole and Ashcraft. That's a game I don't want any part of. The Reds are playing pretty well right now. 4-game winning streak. Heading into New York, this is a team the Yankees should smash. The Yankees 5-5 in their last 10 on a 2-game losing streak. This could potentially be a dud, like the game they lost against Pittsburgh there. So I could see a potential dud, but I could also see the Yankees pitching well or doing well. So it's a pass for me. Red Sox and Rays, Sale against Kluber. Sale hasn't pitched in forever, like a long time. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to get from him. So I won't touch that one. Brewers and Twins. I am on Minnesota, team total over 4.5 at minus 115. I like the Twins offense to do well here against the Brewers. The Brewers have won 1 of their last 5 games and are kind of on a bit of a losing streak here. Winters pitched well in his last 2 games. Alexander, not so much. So I look for the Twins to get some runs in this game. Baltimore and the Cubs. Baltimore is on a 7-game winning streak. Close to 500 here, playing great baseball. Obviously, like Nick said about the day off, the Baltimore is on a day off. and they're heading here to Chicago. I think there's a slight pitching advantage here with Sampson against. I don't like to back Lyles whatsoever, but he is 5-7 on the year, so he's not horrible, but not a game I wanted to get to. Oakland and Texas. I know Oakland's offense, but this is Caprillion and Otto, and I brought up the stats in our group chat earlier. Texas games have been going over. The last 4 meetings between these two teams have soared over, and Texas games recently have been going over as well. So to get an 8.5 at minus 114, the Oakland offense, as bad as it is, they should be able to get some runs on Chris Otto. They are still professional baseball players, so I do look for this game to go over. Tigers Royals, Brisky against Bubick, no thanks. This is a bum fight I won't be getting involved in whatsoever. Padres Rockies, Clevenger against Gomber. San Diego should win this game, but again, not a game. They broke their history in Coors Field, or they broke their losing streak in Coors Field, and they should definitely win this game, but not a game I'm touching. Houston Angels, Garcia and Syndergaard. I'm taking Houston money line here at minus 122. Yes, Syndergaard pitches better at home, but even as of late, he's been giving up some runs at home. Luis Garcia may not be the Houston's best pitcher, but he's winning games. So he's won his last 3 there. So he's pitching well. And our final game of the night for the odds that I brought up here, that I had up there, Arizona and Giants, Keuchel, Webb. This is the complete opposite. You have a really good pitcher who pitches well at home, and you have a shit pitcher on the road here in Dallas Keuchel. This is a great spot for the Giants. I'm on the Giants minus 1.5, plus 104, and then I also have the Giants in a parlay. So I'll give out my 3 parlays now. Again, Toronto, Atlanta, the Dodgers, and San Francisco for plus 419. And then I have Toronto and San Francisco for plus 128, and Atlanta and the Dodgers for plus 151. I like those 3 parlays today. And that's all for me in the baseball slate. Tim, anything else in the world of baseball you want to give out? The floor is yours.
We already talked about Seattle, Toronto. Our best bets in that Boston-Tampa Bay game. If you guys are interested in that, rollsportsbets.com. I bet the Mets, Dodger run line, over in the Tiger Kansas City game because fade the boob. Continuing to ride the hot streak with the Baltimore Orioles because why not? I like the over in the Houston game. I expect runs from both sides, and then I'm backing Mike Clevenger and the Padres, and then I like the over in the Arizona game because Dallas Keuchel.
All right. If anybody wants to answer this comment, the floor is open to anybody.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm passing on the game. If I made a play, I would actually go to a team total towards the Marlins. I know the lineup isn't it doesn't look great without Jazz in it, but I can't get behind that. That Pirates bullpen has been disgusting of late. So any bet that involves having to rely on the Pirates offense or Pirates bullpen to uphold the lead, good luck with it. I just can't see it. So that's my personal opinion. I'm not going to be betting it. So, but that's what I would recommend.
Nick, any thoughts?
I like the first 5 under in that game.
All right, Bryant, last pitch. What else do you like in baseball?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll start at the top. Obviously, I think my Yanks bounce back. There's no real value in this game at all. So I went and got a little spicy. I've got to the money lines and some parlays, but I went and got a little spicy and decided that I'm going to look at Garrett Cole to fix himself after Rafael Devers sunned him a couple days ago. Otherwise, the start was fine. He pitched pretty solidly outside of that, but he just can't get Devers out. Something that he's got to figure out. Luckily for him, he does not have to worry about that tonight. and I look for him to come out here and pitch a really good game. And so, because of that, hold on, let me find the number on it so I can relay that to you guys. I have him. Well, I have the Yankees, or the Reds team total under three runs. It's at -135. I think that he does his job. The bullpen's gotten the day off. They'll do their job as well. We got some guys coming back over the next couple of days. I think that they're going to come out and take control of this game, going to the All-Star break on a high note. Like you did say, we were 5-5 over the last 10 games. Ultimately, like I said, the Yanks win. There's no real value there, so I'm going to take the Reds team total under 3 for this game. And yeah, that's my play for that. We got the Mariners, got the Jays. I am backing my boy Dylan Cease is on the mound tonight. Me and Terry both missed on that White Sox team total over 3.5 earlier. We won't be doing that today. I am actually going to go the opposite way, and I am looking for Dylan Cease to hold the Guardians under 1.5 runs for the first 5. I got it at -120. I really think you can even bump it up and go under under half a run, because the Guardians suck against lefties. They are pitiful against lefties. But I'm gonna not get greedy, and I'm just gonna take that F5 team total under 1.5. Cease has been a monster. I hope he's going to somehow find his way into the All-Star game. He deserves it. But yeah, so that's one of my another one of my plays. I also have the White Sox money line as my parlay piece for the show. We'll show that in a little bit. I have the Twins F5 run line -0.5 at -115. Jason Alexander is not very good. He gave up 7 runs to the Cubs last time he was out, and the last time I checked, the Twins had scored over 5 or 6 runs in their last 6 games. So I know they're facing the Rangers mixed in there. But I think that they're seeing the ball well, and they're a better lineup than the Cubs. So we'll do a little transitive property there. I think it checks out, and they're at home as well. So you get that home boost. I like for Josh Winder to do what he needs to do to get enough outs, and I expect the Twins to jump on top of Jason Alexander and get this thing moving. Other than that, I mentioned the Dodgers play. I like the Padres money line. It's -140. Keep it simple there. And my big play, excuse me, my big play of the day. I've got some units on this, but this is a direct result of fading Dallas Keuchel. I'm going with the Giants -2.5. It's +130. I put 3 units on this, so I need people to understand that I expect Logan Webb to shove, and I expect Dallas Keuchel to be Dallas Keuchel. So let's go.
Nick's reaction was priceless when you said that you had 3 units on it. Nick's reaction was just priceless. It was awesome. But Nick, last pitch. What do you think here for the rest of baseball?
You do know the Giants are 10-28 against the spread as a home favorite, right? So,
yeah,
they can't even cover -1.5 at home, so we're trusting them to lay 2. Okay, for me,
absolutely, it's because Dallas Keuchel. That's the only. If there was anyone else, I wouldn't even considered it.
And the Arizona's bullpen after Keuchel too. So even though they've only done it 10 times, this is a team this is one of the 10 times that it should be. I think
this is absolutely just one of those. It's the middle of the week. I don't really have too much to bet on. It just is what it is.
What line did you get that at? I'm just curious. What line did you get that at?
I got it at +140.
Okay. All right. For me, I'm rolling with the first 5 under 4 with Miami and Pittsburgh. I think I said that when I was answering a question there. I'm on the Reds in the first 5 +1.5 runs. +1.5 runs. So like a 1-0, 2-1 type of first 5. I'm fine with that. They just need not to be getting full game run lined in the first 5. I got that at -125. I think there was value on that line. I don't think any Major League Baseball team should be a minus 300 favorite against another Major League Baseball team. These are still professionals. I am rolling with the Minnesota Twins as well on the first 5 run line at minus 115. I did just rebet the Cardinals. It was the same price, plus 120 for the first 5 innings. I'm on the Rangers team total over 4.5 and the full game over 8.5. This one I'm probably going to get some slack on, but I'm going to fade the Baltimore Orioles here today. That's the third team that's on a 7-game home win streak that's now traveling and playing on the road. Give me the Cubbies in the first 5 innings on the money line. I am back in the Padres, minus 1.5 at plus 115. I have a feeling I'm going to get slack for these next 2 as well. I think the Astros are a trap tonight. They're only minus 125 against an Angels team that's been losing the way they have, and the Astros have been playing as well as they have, and they're only minus 125, minus 130.
All Syndergaard's games. Sorry to interrupt. All Syndergaard's games are juiced. Like all the Syndergaard games are priced more to the Angels, from what I've seen this year. So I think that could be why.
I just thought that line was a little trappy. I'm on the first 5 money line. Obviously, you still can't trust the bullpen of the LA Angels, so just the first 5 money line minus 110 with the Angels. And then this one I'm going to get the most shit for, and I'm going to either look like an absolute genius or I'm going to look like an absolute imbecile. Give me a second here.
Don't do this, bro. Don't do this.
I am backing Dallas freaking Keuchel. I'm going to back the
Unreal,
2015 Cy Young Award winner in the first 5 innings at plus 165. This is the first time in like 2 years I've backed this guy. His advanced numbers are not as bad as people think they are. Like his FIP and his Sierra suggests that we should see positive regression from him. He's a soft tossing lefty that doesn't get hit that hard. It's sometimes when he struggles with the command, he can get himself into trouble. And if really all the Giants have to do in order to beat him is just be patient at the plate tonight, he will beat himself. But if the Giants are hitting the way they have been lately, which is not very good, I don't think they should be minus 220 tonight. Yes, I understand it's Dallas Keuchel. I'm taking the Diamondbacks in the first 5 innings at plus 165, and that's my card.
All right, I know you guys have to go, so I won't keep.
Oh wow, yeah.
But quickly answer if either of you Dodgers over under.
Lean under.
Tim,
run line. I don't know.
Any thoughts on the total?
Maybe an over.
Okay, and then Padres Rockies over
under.
Yeah,
under.
Yeah, me and Tim gave under on Total Chaos for this game, so I guess we could all agree under.
All right.
And Giants fans are awful, Crawford especially. Well, hopefully tonight they wake up. But Tim, Nick, if you guys have to go, that's fine. But come in. And we'll move on to best bets. They obviously have a show that they have to do here in a couple minutes. But me and Bryant will go over best bets here. And we will start with Dog of the Day, as we always do. For me, I have no dogs today. The closest that I'm on is Seattle minus 105. You can find it for minus 104 now, but not plus 100, so can't use it as a dog. So no dogs for me. Tim's taking the New York Mets. Tim's taking the Baltimore Orioles. And Dave sent in Detroit Tigers for his dog. Bryant, is there a dog that you like today?
Yeah, let's go with the birds. The Baltimore Orioles are going to be my dog of the day. The Mets, I would probably, I could see it, but I think that the Braves bounced back after last night. The Tigers would have been my only other choice because I'm fading Chris Bubich in any way possible I can. I personally slowed away from the entire game, but I just decided to go with the Orioles.
All right. And then going on to over or under. I had a few different. Oh, shit, I lost. Okay. Oops, sorry. Over under. There we go. I have 2 different totals: the Oakland, Texas over, Minnesota team total over. And because Dave went with Oakland, Texas over, I thought I'd give something different. So Minnesota team total over 4.5 for me. Nick is going Toronto, Philadelphia over 9.5. Tim is going Arizona, San Francisco over 7.5. And Dave is going the Oakland, Texas over 8.5. So 4 overs so far. Bryant, are you going to be on an over or an under or nothing?
I am going with an under here, and I'm going
Oh.
to go with the Guardians team total, F5 team total under 1.5.
All right. And then going on to best bet and best parlay piece. For me, best parlay piece, I'm going Dodgers money line is my favorite parlay piece of the day. Nick is taking St. Louis plus 2.5. Tim is going with the Toronto Blue Jays money line. And Dave is taking Tampa Bay money line, which is actually plus 100. But that's his parlay piece. So Tampa Bay. Bryant, what do you think here? Parlay piece.
Yeah. My parlay piece that I mentioned earlier is going to be the White Sox money line. I ultimately trust I trust Cease to get a win here. Pilkington is a lefty, so I didn't even mention that in that discussion as well. So not only do the Guardians struggle against lefties, they're also tossing a lefty out, and the White Sox love hitting lefties.
Yeah,
So,
Cease is actually a righty.
oh, he is. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I got him confused.
Yeah, but they're good against lefties.
Yeah. But even then, with that being said, I trust Cease much more than I trusted, I think, Caleb Martin, the gentleman that they had out there.
Pilkington? I think it's going to be Pilkington.
Yeah, but they had a righty this afternoon against Bieber and the Guardians in the first game of that doubleheader. So it's Cease. I think that they'll bounce back and get a dub. So that's why I put him in my parlay piece. I don't want to give anyone more chalk. If you followed the show earlier, I've already got like parlays with the Dodgers and the Yankees and stuff like that. So I switch it up.
Yeah. Limited Benefits says I'm scared of that Texas Oakland over. Yeah, Oakland's offense, it's shit. So if this game does stay under, I think Texas wins. But just the way things have been going between these two teams, their last 4 games have gone over, and the two pitchers, I have to take the over, but it could stay under.
I think both are simultaneously, like you said, the way some of these things have been going, it could go under. But I just can't, in good faith, back an under when you have guys like Otto and Caprillion on the mound. Like I just can't do it. Like it's either over or just don't touch it at all.
Exactly. And then best bets. I didn't go with the Dodgers and Atlanta parlay, even though it's been working well for me, because my biggest bet of the night is on Toronto and San Francisco, both on the money line for plus 128. I really like that two-teamer tonight. Nick is taking the Chicago Cubs first 5 -0.5, plus 100. And Tim is taking Seattle -1.5 and Toronto -1.5 for plus 402. So he's going a big play there. He won his big play yesterday and moved up in the green. So I guess he's trying to catch up to Bryant here. And then Dave, he won't catch up if he wins it, but he'll be getting close. And then Dave, Texas team total over 4.5, which is around -110. And Dave did say he took the Texas race 2 as well. If you can get the race to 4, race to 5, that's what he did take as well for better odds. Bryant, what do you think here for best bet?
Yeah, my best bet is going to be the Astros, Giants, and Yankees all to get a dub tonight. Put them all in a 3-teamer, and I got it at plus 246.
Yankees, Houston, San Francisco?
Yeah. All just money line, and it's at plus 246.
Plus 246. All right. Perfect. And tailing Dave again on those. Yeah, Dave should be back tomorrow. Busy day for him, so he wasn't able to make it today, but he did a great job, and hopefully he'll be back tomorrow. But that is the show. Best luck to everybody tonight on your bets. Smash the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the content. We appreciate all the support. And we'll be back tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern, regular time for another episode of Getting Wild with Terry and Friends. See you tomorrow, guys.